The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
and this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Here we are. Welcome aboard, everybody. Zach is running late, I'm assuming, or caught in traffic or something. But Andy might
stuck in the eternal hell that is Southern California traffic.
Oh man, I don't know how he does it. I really don't. I don't know how you do it in Tampa. I don't know. I just
today was particularly bad because I think at one point on my way home today, I moved about, I want to say 5 feet in 10 minutes.
Oh, that's a good day in Tampa. I remember I was coming from Clearwater over to Tampa one morning. We were on our way to the Kennedy Space Center. And we got on the 275, I think it's 275, the bridge there.
Yep.
And we sat there for every bit of an hour without moving.
The good thing about being stuck on traffic on the bridge, though, is that if you put the windows down, you get the sea air, like, at least.
Yeah, it was nice when you're sitting there right on the bay, basically. But Zach's girlfriend drops in and says it's actually raining. Yeah, that's universal, Alex. It never rains in Ohio. It rained here yesterday, and people today are driving like they'd never seen it before.
That's how
it rains most of the time here.
That's how it is that's how it is with snow in Canada. It's hilarious. People like the first week after it starts snowing, people are driving like they've never driven in snow before. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
We do this every year.
This happens every year. You should be used to it by now.
Yeah, right. But anyway, I'm assuming Zach will be here shortly, and we'll get our weekly dose of garbage trucks and the whole bit. So just hang tight. And what do we got in sports, fellas? It was I just got to say, first off, I'm going to give all credit in the world to the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Fighting Illini of Illinois for putting on one of the most inept 9 overtime games I've ever seen.
It's the longest college football game on record, if I recall correctly.
And it is using the new overtime format, though. The new overtime format.
I didn't even know they were doing that. I thought that's like penalty kicks, like Zach was saying. It's penalty kicks. It's stupid.
It's basically. I mean, I understand, because when two teams, if you go to that many overtimes, it's almost like, Jesus, you guys both suck. Does somebody win?
Yeah, what do we have? What's the most basic thing that we can do to determine a winner?
I mean, it's essentially like, I don't know if you guys play high school football. There's an Oklahoma drill where you just line people up and you just give each other a concussion. That's essentially what the new system is. It's just 2-point conversions until somebody passes out. But the Penn State, they were ranked 7th overall, so the Illini pulled off a pretty big win.
The Illini weren't even ranked.
Hell no, they were like,
there's three. I think they came out of the game 3-5 or something like that.
They were not having a great year. I mean, it's a transition period for them, but I mean, they're not very good anyway as a program. But yeah, good for them. I have no rooting interest in them. I enjoy when Illinois is successful at any sport.
I can never remember, Andy. Is that your alma mater?
No, I went to Eastern Illinois, which is like an hour south. The Panthers, who they had like one good basketball team back in like 2002, and otherwise, and Tony Romo had a bunch of football people.
I thought it was Tony. There was another quarterback though that went there too, not just Tony.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Wow,
he went there.
Back Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, they had some. Mike Shanahan was an alumnus. They've had a few NFL coaches. It's really weird. I don't know why the hell they come from EIU, but there's been
Didn't Sean Payton go there too? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Zach is here. Are you there, Zach?
I believe so.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there we go.
His new avatar up there and happening.
And we're all doing the NFL thing, I guess.
We were just discussing the incredible overtime between Penn State and Illinois.
Yes. Overtime in quotation marks. Yeah.
It was.
It was a tie game that Illinois won in the shootout.
I was watching it, and because I hate Penn State. I'm just going to come right out and say it. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about it. I would rather, as an Ohio State fan, I would rather beat Penn State than Michigan. That's how badly I don't like that team. But I'm like, I just want to see if Illinois can pull this off. And then it went to overtime, and then it got to be like, at one point, I'm like, this is bullshit. I got to stop watching.
No. At a certain point, it's bullshit, and it's just like one of you fucking inept fucksticks do something.
Right. And I finally said, no, this is like watching a horrible movie where you're at 10 minutes from the end, you got to go, I got to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've invested that much time in it, right? Like,
but justice in the Illini prevailed, so that was pretty cool. But wow, oh my God. And you would think, like Andy said, Penn State was ranked in the top 10. You think they could pull off, I don't know, two-point conversions and all that time? No, couldn't do it.
No.
I mean, it was a rainy, nasty football day, you know. I don't know. I
thought Illini defense is solid too. I don't think that was an accident that they were able to shut them down.
So I mean, this has to knock Penn State out of playoff contention, right? Like,
yeah. Okay. I think they were already, right.
Well, they
were in shouting distance.
I mean, they were, but it was sort of that situation where it's like, it's like Greg said, they're within shouting distance. If enough things broke their way, maybe they get.
I mean, they already lost to the mighty Iowa Hawkeyes. So
I think lost to who? Purdue, right? Yeah. Even if they weren't in it after we finished curb stomping them this coming Saturday, they would have been out of it anyway. So it's either way. They just got it over with quicker than they didn't wait an extra week to get their asses handed to them.
Yeah. Again, while we're on it, the top 25 teams in the country. That top end is a weird sight.
Georgia, what is it? Georgia, Cincy,
Georgia, Cincinnati, and then Alabama, and then Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, Michigan State, Iowa. Ole Miss is number 10.
Does anybody within their right mind actually believe Cincinnati is better than Alabama?
No.
No.
And you know what? They're going to play that game in the playoffs, and it's going to be a fucking massacre, and we'll all move on.
Well, no, see, they're not, though, because what's going to happen is because you got Georgia at 1 and Alabama at 3, and we all know how that's going to play out when they beat the SEC title game. So it'll actually be, probably be Cincinnati, Georgia, and then it'll be Alabama, Oklahoma, Alabama, Ohio State. I don't know. Oklahoma is 8-0, but I mean, they needed to win by the skin of their teeth against Kansas last week. So I don't know if that.
I mean, it's a Big 12 8-0, which is really like
5-3 anywhere.
Yeah, it's 5-3 if you're converting to normal currency.
Right. And then it's just so funny. I see Michigan there, and they're 7-0, but we all know they're actually 7-1
already. It's like we're all just waiting for it to happen, and then
and even Michigan State is 7-0.
Oh, really? That's going to be a good game this Saturday, though.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Is the state put the stake through Harbaugh's heart again before the Buckeyes get a chance to?
I mean, if you look at it, I mean, obviously the big story is the fact that Harbaugh hasn't beaten Ohio State. It's not like he's got a stellar record against Michigan State either. They've kicked his ass a few times.
He's the John Cooper of the Ohio State John Cooper, not the Lightning.
Right.
John Cooper, yeah. Ohio State John Cooper of Michigan. He puts up a great record every year, but he can't beat the teams that he has to beat. Simple as that.
And well, I do have a question for you, Greg, as the Big Ten representative here.
Okay.
There are 4 Big Ten schools in the top 10 right now.
Yeah.
Does that feel right?
No.
Okay.
Okay, there's Ohio State, which I'm not even so sure that's legit, but okay.
Yeah.
They've got the pedigree, so we'll allow that one. But what are the other 3?
Michigan State, and Iowa.
Iowa's in the top 10 still?
Iowa got back up to 9 this weekend, yeah.
Jesus, we lost to Purdue a couple years ago. They dropped us down to like 17.
Well, Penn State was number 7, and they dropped all the way down to 20. And then Oklahoma State was in the top 10, and they lost, so they dropped down to 15.
Yeah, that was what they play, Iowa State, right? That was a pretty good game, actually.
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't pay any attention to college football all season until this weekend. And then I guess because it was miserable outside, I thought, well, I have something to do.
Yeah, it's a good weekend to put on some football.
But no, 4 teams in the Big Ten in the top 10, no way. Not a chance.
It's all it's kind of like a placeholder kind of numbers to where it's like, well, we don't really it's just kind of like put it in place. We don't really.
Well, the rankings are so stupid anyway. I mean, Cincinnati. Okay.
And by the way, this is the AP top 25. This isn't even the playoff rankings, which haven't come out yet.
If they put Cincinnati at 2 in the playoff rankings, and then something's wrong. I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm not taking a thing away from them. But what are they playing like Conference USA?
They are in the American.
Oh, okay, even better.
The artist formerly known as the Big East. Yeah,
right. So looking at it, okay.
And again, we went over this a week ago, I think 2 weeks ago. The only team that's of note on their schedule that they've beaten so far was Notre Dame at number 9. And Notre Dame is, they're hanging around. They're number 11, I think, right? Yeah, number 11.
Yeah.
So it's not like that's a bad win at this point, but there's what is their other signature win here? Is it UCF? Is it Indiana? Or is it
national champion UCF, by the way?
Like Miami, Ohio, Murray State, Indiana, Notre Dame, Temple, UCF, and Navy. Like,
that's real murderer's row right there, isn't it?
And the only thing going on the rest of the way is Tulane, Tulsa, USF, and the only ranked team is SMU, and then they close out at Eastern Carolina. So it's not like they're
no. And I was just going to say, you look at the let's say the top 10, okay? Georgia, Cincinnati. You're going to take Georgia in that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Alabama, Cincinnati. That's going to be ugly. That would just be a horrific slaughter.
Yeah, the only reason the Georgia-Cincinnati game would be close was because Georgia's offense isn't good enough, but their defense is smothering. So
Cincinnati, Oklahoma, that could be – Cincinnati could actually win that because nobody knows how to play defense in the Big 12.
Well, I don't even think Oklahoma's that great. I mean, they've had a rough up and down year. Despite being 8-0, I wouldn't make them a confident number 4.
Ohio State, Cincinnati, you're probably going to go with the Buckeyes in that. Okay, Michigan, Cincinnati. I mean, as bad as Michigan probably really is, I'd still take them. Maybe they can beat Oregon. I don't know. Michigan State they could probably take, but you go all the way down to like 7 before you find a team where you go, yeah, I would favor the Bearcats over this team. So why they're number 2 is beyond me. But other than the fact,
because they're undefeated and
but Wake Forest is also undefeated and they're 13.
Right.
SMU is undefeated. They're 19.
Look, people keep whining that they want these smaller schools. Like, oh, they're undefeated. Give them a shot. And this is going to be one of the years where that happens. And it's like,
you know who else is undefeated? The is it UTEP San Antonio?
Yeah, University of Texas San Antonio.
They're undefeated. They're 8-0, so they've got a better record than everybody.
I'm just saying they're going to give Cincinnati a playoff spot, and it's going to get really ugly, and then we'll be done with this conversation for about 2 years before people get bored again.
By the way, Greg, you mentioned San Diego State. Put some respect on their name. That's San Diego State of Carson at Dignity Health Sports Park.
Well, I wasn't aware of that. I will be.
No. Back up. What happened?
San Diego State has played last season and this season up at Dignity Health Sports Park.
The rec center. The Chargers are at. Right. Okay.
Yeah, because they're rebuilding. They tore down Qualcomm, and so they're building a brand new.
That's going to
soccer / smaller football stadium for San Diego State.
That's really going to piss off the Saturday shuffleboard tournaments at the rec center there. They're not going to like that a bit.
Are we sure that there are no further coaches that are like competing with Brian Kelly for students killed by scissor lift? I don't know if that's like a stat that is kept.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, yeah. Good for Notre Dame. They're still holding strong with that record.
I'd forgotten about that. That was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Anyway, so there's a football update. It's all bullshit, and we all know it. Alabama's going to win, and why the fuck are we even bothering?
Let chaos reign.
Right. I wish. Yeah, Alabama's going to play Cincinnati, and it's going to be like 80-2. And I don't know how Alabama's going to get that safety, Cincinnati gets the safety, probably by accident, but that's what it'll be. So why are we bothering here? This is as bad as the NBA. So go ahead.
Do you know when the first playoff rankings are supposed to be?
I think next week. I think it's after week 8, like across the board, which we still have a couple of 7s.
Yeah, that's right. The initial round of rankings will be November 2nd. So
yeah,
the day after our next show.
I'll bet you that'll be a whole lot different than what we're seeing right now.
I would imagine. Yeah. They might even do something dumb like say, hey, you laughed at like Wake Forest, but now they're number 3.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Well, I mean, Wake Forest has got to play a little bit tougher schedule just by virtue of being in the ACC, right?
Let me see.
I mean, not that much tougher because it's the ACC, but still.
I mean, they dropped 70 on Army over the weekend.
Yeah, well, I think that if you're a legit Division I school, that shouldn't be too hard to do.
I mean, they beat former big teams like Florida State and Louisville and Syracuse, and
yeah, that's a little better than was Cincinnati playing, like the Chicago Optical Institute and places like that. Yeah, I would
70 points. They scored 70 fucking points.
Yeah,
on Army. Army scored 56.
Army scored 56. That you want to talk about a game with no defense,
right? Which I did see a good Twitter joke of. We spend $10 billion a year for the Department of Defense, and this is what Army puts out.
My goodness.
The impressive thing about that, Andy, is Army scored 56 points running a triple option.
Yeah.
Wasn't
that game
like
was
chucking the ball all over the field. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, the NFL salivates for that, man. Just like, if only we could have 70 to 50 something games just every week.
Awful. It'd be terrible. Remember that was it Packers Cardinals game a few years back?
Oh yeah, the greatest game ever played. Apparently,
bullshit.
Here's a way to kind of illustrate the way that game went. Wake Forest scored 70 points. Right, they held the ball for 17 minutes. Army scored 56, holding the ball for 42.
Well, that sounds about right.
With 9 more first downs.
They got to establish the run.
Yeah.
I love when it's working. It's fun to watch that crazy triple option. But man,
I imagine they didn't even throw the ball that much.
Yeah,
Army threw the ball 13 times.
I was going to say I wasn't too far off the mark there. Yeah. So there you go.
They ran the ball for 416 yards on 70 attempts.
That's stupid.
Wake Forest might want to tighten up that run defense a little bit. But yeah, so there you go. Some college football. It's is what it is.
We'll get more into it when the rivalry games, because we got time, and as you said, these rankings are. I just like pointing them out because it's like, Cincinnati, really? We're still doing this?
Yeah, I think it's great for the program. I think it's great for the students and all that. But who are you trying to kid here?
Yeah.
Do you really honestly believe you're better than Alabama? Because if you do, you're just an idiot. I'm sorry, but you are. So anyway, the NFL was they had what was it, like 6 bye teams yesterday? So
6 weeks, 6 teams on a bye, yeah. And I think the stat I heard was basically before Sunday night, the average margin of victory was 20 points.
Wow,
across all the games.
Yeah. We had Basketball 3.0 this weekend too.
Something like that.
Oh yes, we did. Let's talk about it.
What's to talk about? I mean,
I saw Tom Brady cured some child's cancer.
Gave him a hat.
I'm sorry. I'm so fucking over him. I watched him in an interview. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Joe Montana's better, and I don't care what you think about it.
You were like rage texting Joe Montana for a solid couple hours.
Yeah.
I was like, good Lord, man.
I mean,
I do that every time Mike pops in with the Brady take. I just throw Joe Montana.
What was it? Over 600 career touchdown passes?
Yeah, by the end of the first quarter. I was one of those. It was one of those games to where, like, 2 minutes after it started, I was like,
what did you say, Andy? Like, the game hasn't even started yet. They're playing like O Fortuna, like some demons are just gonna rise up from hell to swallow the Bears.
Well, they were. I mean, usually in pregame music, they usually have, just whatever, pop music, hip hop, whatever.
Yeah.
They were playing fucking O Fortuna, and it was so foreboding. I was watching there, just Brady's throwing some warm up throws, and
it's like he's just gonna smite you with his powers.
I mean, it kind of was like a damning, like just watching Brady, because it was clearly revenge from last year where they lost to
when he forgot what down it was,
right?
Yeah.
And lost to what's his face, to
Foles.
Nick Foles, yeah. So he was out for humiliation, and plus it kind of illuminated that the Bears, as I said during week 1, they are ass. The Bears are just an ass franchise. And it's, I've seen this movie so many times before, and the Bucs, it's kind of funny because it was essentially a bye last week. Like the defense, they kind of had a bunch of guys that were either hurt or whatnot. The offense didn't have Gronkowski or AB, Mr. Big Chest. So it was just like Brady was like, "Hey, you guys want to go out there and take a shit on this franchise today?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do that." And I'm going to shit on them until halftime. Like they could have really run the score up to 70 as well if they really wanted to.
Like it
is bad.
It was a case where I don't know, the Bucks were still they were pushing. They wanted at least 35 by the end of the first. And because it's late in the second and it's already 28-3 and it's why are you guys pushing? And it's oh, okay, so they're gonna get the 35 and then they're gonna sit. Okay, that's what's happening.
Who was his backup there? Oh, it's
I can't remember his name. I turned it off by that point.
Zach. Who was Brady's backup in Tampa?
Oh, we did this last year.
Right. It's
I'm pulling up the depth chart.
The guy he used to be
Gabbert.
Wait, I see the Jaguars guy, Blaine Gabbert. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a Case Keenum guy, basically. Blaine Gabbert. Same thing.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys were watching, I was curious what you thought of Tony Romo. He's being very weird during that game.
They had Romo on the Bears Bucks game.
Yeah, they had the A crew on it. It was
it was weird all around because I guess
it was a weak slate, but
I was actually surprised, and I guess maybe all the bias has something to do with it. But CBS is usually the AFC network, and so I was a bit taken aback that they were showing a game between two NFC teams. But
because of the Thursday night games, it's thrown the balance off. So occasionally you get something like that.
But okay, so going to what Tony Romo said, and I'm really sorry. I legitimately, I know I don't want to dig the knife in deeper, Andy, but
wow, I don't give a fuck.
The thing that struck me was when I don't know, I think it was 21-3 or whatever, and Tony Romo is going, this score is really not indicative. This is a really good Bears team, and the score doesn't reflect them. And I'm like, but
I couldn't quite tell if he was trying to fuck with Jim Nance as far as because Jim Nance kept saying the Buccaneers will move to 6-1 and it's the second quarter and Tony's like, oh come on now Jim, they're this Bears team there's been comebacks against the Buccaneers before for this blah blah blah. And it's
when they made it was 21-0, they made it 21-3 and fucking Romo's oh the comeback's starting now and it's.
Well, to be fair, because I was curious, I saw the Bears are 3-4, and I was like, wait, who did they beat? And they have beaten the Bengals and Raiders, who aren't bad. They're pretty damn good, actually, considering the Bengals over the weekend. But
and the Raiders post Gruden have turned it up.
They flourished. So it's not yes, okay, the Bears beat the Lions, but who hasn't? But there's something beyond the veil there that is worth putting together or worth looking at. But then the Bears also play like they did on Sunday, so it's
that one game where they had 13 yards of offense or whatever.
The Seahawks game.
Yeah.
I think the Bears they've got some pieces. I just don't think anybody knows quite how to put them together.
Well, I can tell you one thing: it's certainly not Matt Nagy.
I don't know.
For your lucky, and he might not actually be on the sidelines this weekend. So
I don't. I just don't. I don't give a shit. I mean, I've been a fan of this team for over 20 years, and it's the same old shit.
As much as I'm laughing, Toronto Maple Leafs fan, I feel you on that. You just at a certain point.
Well,
at a certain point, you just tap. You just tap.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because I when I was at the Rams Lions game over the weekend, I look at all these sorry sacks in their Honolulu Blue jerseys. I did see somebody wearing the bag over the head with the cutout eye holes.
Did anyone have a Barry Sanders jersey? Because that's
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It was either Barry Sanders jerseys or Matthew Stafford jerseys, and I did see one poor brave soul wearing a Joey Harrington jersey, and I almost wanted.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You know what, the Lions fan that impresses me is the guy that shows up wearing number 20, and it's a Billy Sims jersey, who was also a really good running back. That would have been cool.
But I guess my question is, would you over these 20 years of fandom, would you rather be a Bears fan or a Lions fan?
Oh God, that's an easy answer.
I mean, I'd rather be a Bears fan than a Lions fan. I mean, I think the Lions are we're kindred spirits, the Bears and the Lions. I mean,
I seriously wanted to ask every one of these people I saw, what keeps you going? Why do you do this?
I don't mean. It's the same thing
I
as-
don't know. I don't know if I were a Lions fan, I don't know how I would be able to handle this season with like the fucking Ravens field goal game would have broken me.
Yeah.
Look,
You
man,
know
there's
what
10
it is?
games left. I don't know.
You know what it is, guys? It's the payoff. Imagine just for a second you're a Lions fan and they actually go on some sort of insane odds against their astronomical run and win a Super Bowl. What would that feel like to them?
Okay, but they won't though. That's the difference between the Lions and the Bears is that the Lions will never do that.
I mean, I feel like that's, you know, I mean, we could be looking at if the Arizona Cardinals win the Super Bowl this year, that would be people. If, you know, they've been through some hell. That franchise,
but they've been to a Super Bowl in the last 20 years.
That's true. They have.
They've been in 3 different.
And probably almost would have won it if it wasn't for Hines Ward.
Yeah.
But you know, they've also the Cardinals don't have that. Like the Lions go all the way back to I don't know when, and they've always been in Detroit, and you know, and then you got Detroit on top of it. I mean, Jesus, how much worse could it possibly be? You know, it's bad enough you're a Lions fan, but then look where you got to go do it. You know, where you got to do it from. You know, come on. But I think that the payoff is why, and I correct. Zach goes, not like it probably won't happen. He's like, it's not going to happen, and he's probably right. So
that's the thing is that, you know, as a fan of a franchise that basically sucks, you essentially just have to hold on to hope. But the thing is, though, when we've talked about this before, like, with Greg especially, like, you know, I have seriously, you know, in the last couple weeks been addressing like, okay, who are my backups if this thing goes to shit? Because I mean, I have earned the right to make the Bears a like secondary team because
absolutely, yes,
fucking Christ, like
no, you know,
I have earned the right to watch football that doesn't suck.
Walk away, man. You have that right.
But I'm not going to just look for the front runner. You know, I want to go by uniform. I want to do
well,
this.
If you want, well, if you really want an interesting choice that seems to merge both front runner and underdog pick, you can hop onto the Chiefs bandwagon right now because
nah, I can't go to Mahomes after, especially with the Trubisky thing. It's I can't do that.
A great team that would fit that bill, except for the uniforms are terrible, like the Titans or
they do have swords on their shoulders.
I liked the old Titans uniforms. These ones,
those are great.
I've said this before, and I actually, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I legitimately mean this. I watched that Titans Bills Monday night game, and there were points where I looked up at the TV and went, "Oh, it's the Argonauts!" And for a split second, my brain thought I was watching the Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, it's the navy blue helmet. Like the franchise going back to Houston had a navy blue helmet. It was always white. Like,
you know,
don't do that.
Why is there such adversity to having another silver helmet? You know, like
I don't know. I was just going to bring up the Oilers and the silver helmets.
Yeah. I mean, Zach is right. They've mostly worn white, but they did wear silver for a brief period, and I didn't think it looked half bad for him.
Well, and you can always come over to the Browns. I mean, we're not going to do anything either, but it's a little more fun right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm contemplating
Case Keenum experience.
Browns, Bengals, even though the Nemo pants are trash. Possibly the Colts, I guess. I don't know. There's nothing I can't do it too seriously right now because I almost when the Bears start to and I mean when the Bears start to suck, I sort of shift into a like journalism mode. Well, it's kind of like exactly. But for now, I almost want to watch the city burn. You know, I want to see this thing dissolve because.
So you want them to move out to the suburbs of the racetrack?
Oh yeah. Fuck Soldier Field, man. Soldier Field is kind of trash. I'm all for them going to somewhere else, get a new stadium and all that stuff. Anything to change because they just. How many times it's like watching the same fucking thing over and over again for years now.
I understand.
It gets old, but
I think to move on to another game, I think this is another team that would be probably a great candidate to jump onto for you, based on all the criteria. Might be the suddenly surging Cincinnati Bengals.
Hey, I want to point out right now, and I'm glad you brought that up. Who was it that said after week 1 these guys are going to be tough? That was me. Because they got a good quarterback.
Yeah, tough
players and they're fast.
You know what this is? This is
one thing, but
this is the football gods rewarding them for fixing the uniforms.
Yeah. Tough is one thing. But to shut down Lamar Jackson like that, and then to outscore Lamar Jackson in that fashion, that's a whole lot different. That's just not being, oh, they're a tough out and they're going to give it to you every week. They're 5-2, man, and they've beaten some good teams. And this, we were all promoting the Ravens after last week, saying, oh, I guess the Ravens are the best team in the AFC now because look at the way they shut down the Chargers. And the Bengals, who are all in all a similar team to what the Chargers present, beat up the Bengals beat up the Ravens pretty good. So I don't know what to make of the Ravens, but I really like what the Bengals are doing right now.
Well, another thing too is you got to remember that right after the Titans beat whoever they beat last week, my irrational confidence went straight back to Tennessee, and I look at the Bengals. So
Yeah.
no, I think the Bengals are. I think that they're the best team in that division. I believe, top to bottom. You don't have no one has a receiver like Chase, with the Bengals. No one has a quarterback. Okay, Lamar is great, but Burrow can do it all. Like Lamar has some passing issues and this and that. Burrow doesn't have those problems, and the running backs are pretty solid. And the defense worries me a little, but they seem to play pretty well. And then you got the offensive line, which, it's just kind of hang on and hope that Joe Burrow doesn't get killed. But I think they're going to be really tough. Best team in that division, I believe, right now. But that could change. Long season. Yeah. Long season.
The AFC looks so weird right now. There are so many teams that are there's no standout runaway at this point. Like in the NFC, the Cardinals are 7-0, and then you got the Rams, Bucks, Packers, and Cowboys. They've all kind of separated themselves as we're the for sure playoff teams. We're the best teams in this conference, and everybody else is playing for the right to qualify. But Cincinnati, Baltimore, Tennessee, and Las Vegas are all 5-2, and then Buffalo's 4-2. They had a bye. So you've got this collection of teams that are all there, and then you look at a team like, I don't know, Kansas City, and you're like, well, shouldn't you be one of those teams? What the hell is wrong with you?
I think Mike called it with those guys.
I want to claim credit on this. I called it a few weeks ago. The Kansas City Chiefs are not a good football team this year.
I don't know what it is. Is it like they're just not functioning? And
might I propose some theories?
Sure.
Propose.
One, the defense is hot garbage.
Defense is hot garbage. It's been pretty bad for the most part over this run of success, but this is real bad.
Two, it's possible, and I don't want to say this for certain because again, I am weary of what happened when Greg called Brady done, right? And so I don't want to say this for certain, but it feels like we're in year 4 of Mahomes. This is his 4th year, because so his first one, then it's his 4th one. It's his 4th year. Maybe defense, maybe the league's caught up.
I don't know. I think. It wasn't the thing I saw was that how many interceptions does he have this year?
Oh wow,
they've had a lot of turnovers.
More than he had in all of last year. That's for sure.
Here, I'm pulling it up. He has 9 interceptions,
and he had 5 of those all last season. Yeah,
5 of those 9 interceptions have gone off of his receiver's hands. Like that's not him. And he's still completing 67% of his passes. He's still throwing for 330 yards a game. Like I think the running game sucks. Like they keep turning the ball over, running the ball, and they can't run. Period. And then none of his receivers can get any separation. Like they're all over Kelsey now, and even Tyreek Hill, who's supposed to just be forever open behind the safeties, he's not finding the ball back there. So
but don't you think though that if you just say, okay, we're going to shut down Kelsey and Hill and make the rest of them beat us, they can't do it with the ground game. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So now you're relying on, I can't think of number 17. I call him Elmo Wright because that's the guy that used to
right. Well, that's kind of the point what I'm making with like the interceptions going off the hands. His other receivers they're not very good right now.
Well, the interception thing is interesting because I mean, yes, the defense has never really been that great since the start of this, run of Chiefs football, but I think the difference is now the offense is turning it over more. That defense, which was never fantastic, is now seeing more mileage, and you're seeing it crack.
Not only that, I think it's just really difficult to be that good for a sustained amount of time in this league. I mean, I don't know what they've lost roster-wise compared to last year or what they brought in.
Well, that was another thing that people brought up is that when you pay Patrick Mahomes $40 million, having the money to build a complete team around him gets difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the sustained success thing's hard just because it's
hard.
But I mean, like they were so good. And so, like, yeah, sure, a team might fall off and only be like, if they're a 14-win team, maybe they're a 10-win team. But this is like they have to go a good record the rest of the way to even try to make the playoffs at this point. It's
what are they? 3-4, 3-5,
3-4, and it's probably 9-8 to make the playoffs.
They can pull that off. I'm not worried about them. I think they'll be in the fight for the playoffs. But I think ultimately, Mahomes, when you play just like YOLO football, like Mahomes does when things get hard. You get a lot of turnovers and you lose, and I mean,
the thing about the playoffs of the Chiefs that makes it hard is that in other years, maybe even where they are now, they would be okay. But this is a year where the Raiders seem to be clicking, and we laugh at the Chargers, but the Chargers still have a pretty good record too. So
hell, the Broncos even play teams tough.
Yeah, the Broncos play teams tough. So, like, we're in a situation now where it's like, it's not even like you can say, oh, yeah, the Chiefs are struggling, but it's basically still their division by default. That's not the case.
No, I mean, they're in third place.
What's their schedule the rest of the way, Zach? Is it easy, tough? Is it?
So, I mean, they play the Giants on Monday next week, so you're not going to learn a whole lot.
All right, there's your get right, because if there was ever a get-well game for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's that one.
Yes, but
can we call them dead in the water if the Giants win?
Yes,
probably. But here's the problem.
They're done. It's
here's the problem. Yes, they get the Giants as a get right, and then they host the Packers at the Raiders, home against the Cowboys.
Ooh, that's not a
fun home Broncos, home Raiders at Chargers, home Steelers at Bengals at Broncos.
That's
not easy.
That's not easy. There are only a few gimme games. And I'm giving them wins against the Broncos, but as you said, Zach, the Broncos play teams tough, so that's not necessarily a given.
You get one of those late season games in Denver where there's 4 feet of snow on the ground and all that.
I mean, their season finale, they're on the road at Cincinnati and on the road at Denver.
Yeah, you could end up playing 2 blizzards.
January 1st or January 2nd and January 9th.
Oh, God, I
hope
by then.
Yeah, not easy.
But
they've got to, as hard as it is to see a stretch like Packers, Raiders, Cowboys. If they're gonna do it, they have to figure out something in that stretch.
Yep.
I think they probably need to beat the Raiders, and they probably need to beat one of the Packers or Cowboys. And playing like they are, I don't know if they can, but if they want to turn this thing around, they've got to do it somewhere in those 3 games.
I think the Packers are kind of an illusion too at this point, where they're 6-1. But you take away the fact that Washington, the 32s, couldn't get in the end zone from the 5 or closer 3 different times yesterday. That's a completely different football game.
That's not the first time that's happened to them this year.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I'm saying. I mean, it wasn't like the Packers defense just shut them down. The Packers couldn't stop them, but then the 32s would shoot their own foot off. That's what was happening here. So I don't know if the Packers are as good as that record indicates. So that
it's just a really weird season for the Packers, because you've got Aaron Rodgers all but saying he's gonna bolt when the season's over. So
he's not going anywhere, and he knows it.
Let's see. I mean, but if you want to talk about ugly football, that Sunday night game was.
Ugh.
What, those Indianapolis Colts?
Ugh. Like when I was looking at, like, we were trying to decide what to do for dinner and how late he was going to be driving home for the game. It's like, normally it's like, man, I would try to get home as quick as I can so I could see as much as Sunday night as possible. But it's like, Colts 49ers? Nah, no thanks.
Pass, yeah.
It wasn't great.
I mean, well, like Greg said, it's uniform wise, it's aesthetically more or less pleasing.
Well.
We have,
and then even like it's like, it's Monday Night Football. We usually watch that. It's Saints Seahawks.
I have to watch. I need at least 7 points out of DK Metcalf tonight to win my fantasy game. So I'm in. I'm watching. Geno Smith, you got to come through for me at least 2 times, bro.
Yeah, James Winston versus Geno Smith.
Oh, that might be fun just on entertainment value alone.
The NFL.com knows what it's got with this little blurb. Jameis Winston and Geno Smith have big shoes to fill on Monday night.
By the way, speaking of those marketing pitches for these games, up until like 2:00 last Thursday, the internet ads I kept seeing for the Browns-Broncos game was Baker Mayfield in the Browns, and I was like, his arm's like in 3 different places out of its socket, right? Like he wasn't gonna play, but they were still advertising it as Baker Mayfield and the Browns take on
the sideline in a cast.
At least
Look at Baker Mayfield backwards hat as he watches the Broncos play the Browns.
At least he didn't run through a game.
Oh God!
Oh my God! Yeah,
that was the.
We talked about that last week. That was I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody says. He does not do that before every game. He did that because he knew the cameras were there, and he thought, "I'm Russell Wilson. I'll do this, and they'll follow me around."
Let's see. Somebody who's ever watching Monday Night Tonight can find out whether or not ESPN showcases it, because if NBC did it, ESPN will be like, "Look, he's doing it again." Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he I will say this: as bad as the Bears season is going, at least Russell Wilson, like that would have made the season a lot more insufferable.
I after it got out of hand pretty quickly, I didn't watch, but I mean, was Fields just not good yesterday, or what's going on with him?
He had no protection.
So the Bears, the Bears drafted an offensive lineman in the second round. His back is fucked up. He's out for the year. So they signed Jason Peters, who's 40. Their right tackle, their starting right tackle, Jermaine Ifedi, gets hurt. He's out. Their backup right tackle, this guy named whose name escapes me, he got COVID. He's out for COVID. And then so they're down to the third right tackle, some guy, and he's fucking terrible.
Some guy playing right tackle
his name,
for the Chicago Bears.
These names are not worth mentioning or remembering whatsoever. So they had to put in, after Fields got hit and knocked back to second grade a couple times and strip sacked, they just put in a guard at tackle, and he played better than the backup at tackle. So it's just, there's nobody there. It's all trash. So anyway, but speaking
who
of
else
bad
has
news,
COVID?
who
else has COVID? Matt, what was it? Nagy.
Matt Nagy. Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
So he'll be out for probably a week.
So does Devontae Adams for a big Thursday night game. With Cardinals.
Weird, bad timing.
Yep.
I mean, I will say this. Oh, what a shame. Oh,
Man, come on.
fucking.
I mean,
Packers.
I'd like the Packers to beat the Cardinals, but that's just me.
fuck the Packers
I
and
would
fuck
like
Aaron
that too.
Rodgers. There you go.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, after Rodgers, like almost like in that, I was playing the game yesterday. And speaking of, did you guys see the uniforms they wore?
Yeah. They were calling them like throwbacks, but it's also their color rush, sort of.
Kind of
Don't
odd.
put the Packers in green pants. Stop doing that.
No,
It's
never,
not-
ever. The
good.
jerseys were fine, but those pants were stupid.
Yeah.
Oh
Packers
yeah,
in green
they're
pants.
doing the all green throwbacks, right?
Yeah, and then they wore the decalless helmet, and
They looked like a lawn company or whatever, a landscape company running around out there. It was ridiculous.
It's a little fun. Yeah, I don't know what. It's not the
jersey's
worst
not
thing I've
bad.
ever seen.
Yeah, the jersey's not bad at all. I like the jersey, and I think it would look good with the right look. But I'm not a big fan of dark monochrome, and especially like green. That's a lot of green, man. So I'm just saying, and
especially on a green field,
yeah,
green stadium. Yeah.
yep.
But
What else happened yesterday? Your Rams got the win. You had the cheeseburger.
yeah, tell us about the burger.
Cheeseburger.
I had the vaunted cheeseburger sub from SoFi Stadium, which to those that haven't seen it, it's just imagine a cheeseburger
right now.
but a long rectangle.
Not just a cheeseburger, but the one Zach actually had. I just got to find it here really quick in our text thread.
Yeah, it's
So how was this vaunted cheeseburger sub?
I mean, it wasn't terrible. I don't know why they just didn't make a regular goddamn cheeseburger, but they
It's like the simplest thing. Like just make a hamburger, guys.
right, it's not like
It's just the same toppings, just long.
yeah, no, literally, it's just a rectangular cheeseburger. I don't know what to tell you. It's like if somebody put a bunch of Wendy's burgers side by side and did that. But as far as like how did it taste? fine. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. It wasn't awesome, but if I go back, will I get it? There's other things I would like to try, but I know it won't necessarily disappoint. It'll just be sustenance.
I almost have a picture of it here. Just hang with me, folks. Here it is. I got to take us.
Oh.
What the hell did I do though?
We're in the.
Oh, I'm in the background. I don't want it there. I want it in the.
I mean, visual.
It doesn't exactly challenge the imagination. You know, it looks like a Subway sandwich that's got a hamburger patty in the middle of it. I mean, it's
yeah.
There you go. There's nothing.
I guess I don't know. I don't know the reasoning behind why they did that, but they did.
So I need to ask, how was Jared Goff's homecoming?
It was weird because I haven't been going to football games for my team long enough to like know how they're supposed to do this. But I'm used to hockey, where whenever the guy comes home for the first time, whenever he sends it, or whenever the guy comes home for the first time. Yeah, there it is in all of its glory. They usually
so aren't they? I'm just to throw that in.
Yeah.
Okay. Go
at the first TV timeout, they usually do the video package, and then the guy stands up on the bench and everybody claps and says, "Thank you for your time." And it's like, yeah, everybody claps. But
for your time, it's like, I don't know, just sounds funny. Carry on.
But for this, they did the welcome back videos during warm-ups, so the stadium's not full yet because it's warm-ups. Who's sitting in their seats paying attention to warm-ups? And they just kind of play these videos that they'd already put on Twitter months ago when the trade happened, and they just cut to Michael Brockers, who also made his return, and Jared Goff, and they're not paying attention to what's going on the scoreboard or what's going on in the stands because they're going through their warm-ups. So I felt like the Rams kind of did the as little as they could, not as little, but like the base level of acknowledging, hey, he's back. Here's a video. You guys can clap if you want, but we're going to do the game as if the game were normal.
That's fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, and then the stupid Lions came out and threw the entire kitchen sink at you on the first 3 drives of the game. And
every bag of
really biting kneecaps.
Seriously, I mean,
onside kicks and.
Okay, so the Lions get the ball first, normal drive. The Rams do like an all-out blitz, and the Lions catch them on a screen at the exact right time. It happens. It goes for a big touchdown. And then there's the onside kick, which who onside kicks the first kickoff of the game? Nobody.
Campbell does. That's what
Dan fucking Campbell, a man's man.
We're going to take it to him. And it's like, okay, cute shit, but we're going to play defense now. And then they get him a 4th down. And at the time, I was, why in the world would they do a fake here? Like, no, I'm just going to look at the returner because I was more interested in who was returning the ball because the Rams have had some issues there. And then all of a sudden I hear a whoa, and I look, and I just see a guy catching the ball and getting the first down. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Hold to a field goal. Rams go, they get a field goal, come back the other way. Again, defense steps up, and they're at midfield, and I turned to my girlfriend and I joked like, oh, watch for the fake punt, because like you're not going to do 2 fake punts in a row. Like
Dan fucking Campbell will.
You've already done an onside kick. You've already done a fake punt. You're not going to do it again. And they did. And it was like, son of a bitch. If these assholes pull out a fake field goal by the end of this game, I'm gonna throw it.
Dan Campbell is the man's man. He's like, you want to see how big my balls are? Let me show you. It's amazing.
So then, anyway, then the Lions finally got stalled, and then the Rams took a deep breath, went about their business, and ended up winning the game. It only came down. The only touchdown they allowed all game was that first one. The rest were field goals. The offense looked very good. Matthew Stafford, 300 touchdown passes. Good for him. And then what a perfect way to put a cherry on top of this whole damn thing. But Jared Goff throwing an interception in the end zone with 3 minutes left to ice the game. Just, I've seen it before. I feel like I was waiting for it. And there it was.
This Rams game was kind of like if you're walking down the street and then like some random crackhead jumps out and is like, blah, 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 and just like throws his feces at you. And you're like, oh, that's weird. I'm going to keep walking, I guess. And just kind of carry on. It's like, all right, that's weird. I'm not glad to get that shit over with.
Look, they tried.
They'll win some game sometime.
Are we sure about that?
I didn't say this season. I just sometime they will win another
The
game.
Lions actually have a winnable game coming up soon. I think. Aren't they playing the Eagles pretty soon?
Yes, this week they're playing the Eagles. Yes, at Detroit.
In Detroit. Oh, there you go. I was going to say too with the picks. We do our weekly picks. I think we should start making it like we have to pick the 4 worst games of the week. Like Eagles,
Well, I have those as I basically look at the schedule. I pick out the ones of the most compelling matchups. Usually there's 5 or 6, and this week there are 6. The Lions Eagles is not one of them because I feel like you're just going to take the Eagles no matter what because the Lions suck.
I take the Lions in that. I'm going to call my shot right now. The Lions will beat the Eagles this Sunday.
Okay.
Greg.
All right.
Well, Greg, Greg himself is a little desperate. You chose the Chiefs to beat the Titans.
Offered a chance to change my mind and said no.
Good. That was it was a hard pick. Saints and Seahawks. Zach will be rooting begrudgingly for the Seahawks this evening.
Did I do that?
You did. You picked the Seahawks to beat the Saints. This
Why did I do that?
Geno Smith, dude. What were you thinking?
No, I don't know.
You thought that Geno Smith looked kind of impressive against the Rams, is what you were going with.
Oh, was that I did? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well, this week we've got another batch of. I mean, the Greg Lions pick. We'll just let that hang separately.
Bold outside the contest prediction. The Lions will win this Sunday.
Okay.
Greg's going to use that Packers stockholder power to try to get Dan Campbell in as the Packers coach. He believes in him.
I do.
You hear that, Jalen Hurts? Cover up your knees.
I want Dan Campbell to go with a racial or homophobic slur at Lambeau to really make it count. Because it's like if it happens in Detroit, did it really even happen? Lambeau, it fucking happened. You better believe it.
They probably celebrate him if he did it in Lambeau.
A certain portion of the crowd would, I'm sure.
Just going back to the Raiders. I mean, it turns out that they're playing a lot better without Gruden. So
who could have known? Mike, go ahead and make your pick. Choose number 1 through 6.
5.
5. You will be choosing the Cowboys at the Vikings.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Cowboys.
Cowboys. All right.
I'm just going to sidebar here and say that I would pick the Vikings in that game.
How about them Cowboys? Woo!
All right, Greg, 1 through 5.
I'll take 4.
You'll be picking the Steelers at the Browns.
Oh, geez.
The MASH unit Browns versus the senior home Steelers.
Ben Roethlisberger here, basically. Yeah. Oh boy, that could be.
Are we in for another KC Keenum renaissance?
Both running backs are still out. I don't think Dearness Johnson's got another 150-yarder in him. I'm going to go Steelers on that.
Okay.
Steelers' first game in Cleveland since the Browns destroyed them in the playoffs.
And wasn't that the same? Was that no? That was in Pittsburgh that Browns did that.
Right.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying.
Somebody pick 1 through 4. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Somebody pick 1 through 4 for me, and I'll.
Yeah, hold on. I'm picking the Browns. I'm taking my boys all the way. Browns.
I've amended that. Can somebody pick 1 through 4 for me, and I'll just pick
2.
2. Packers at Cardinals.
That's a tough call.
Boy.
Damn it. At Cardinals.
Short week.
Yeah.
Packers are frauds.
Devontae Adams, COVID, maybe.
I'll go Cardinals because they're undefeated. The Packers are good, but if it was at Lambeau, I'd probably take the Packers. But
and think of it this way: you gotta, the Cardinals are kind of a Chicago team.
Yeah. All right, Zach, 1 through 3.
3.
You get to pick the 49ers at the Bears.
Oh,
a killer! You
enjoy. What a game that's going to be! Jesus. Do we know what the weather is going to be like in Chicago? Because apparently,
not like it is now. Well, you don't know what that is. It's going to be in the 50s.
Will there be rain?
Maybe. Football weather. I don't.
The kind of weather that they show on NFL films with the lineman crouching down with the taped fist, and there's frost on the ground, and you see the chilled air coming out of his face mask. That kind of weather.
Call it 60 degrees and rainy, but not like pouring. It's kind of wet.
Give me the Bears.
Bears.
The Bears.
Bears.
Okay. I would have picked
Bears by 3 Ditkas.
Yep, that's fine. I would personally pick the Bears because I feel like the Bears are going to have one of these like pointless wins.
Yeah,
where everyone pretends everything's fine after all, and then
they get
very good.
Then they get their dicks stomped in against the Steelers on Monday Night Football.
I think this is a game where the crisis of confidence at quarterback stands up for the 49ers because Jimmy didn't look great on Sunday, and now you got this Lance kid that's is he?
I thought he was hurt.
Injured? Oh, I don't know.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Well, whatever. I'm not confident in what the Niners are doing right now, is my point.
I don't think they're very good.
No.
I just don't think they are. I think
so. They've already announced that Garoppolo will start this week.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. Whatever. It'll be a game. What's that?
I just want. Is that it? We got everybody in.
Yep, everybody's picks are in for week 8. So well done. We'll
don't forget, Lions win this Sunday.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about football, just because it's a story that's bubbled up over the last couple of days. Because the trade deadline looms, the Deshaun Watson.
Oh, I was going
to. Has popped up again.
Are they trading Tua for him? What's going on?
It sounds like the Panthers or Dolphins are talking to the Texans about doing this because the Panthers benched Sam Darnold on Sunday when they lost to the Giants, and then the Dolphins are still floundering with Tua.
I just don't know. I think
I don't support any trade of this because why would you do this with a guy that's currently under investigation? How could you rightfully do that for
especially given how much the Texans are asking? Like, you're going to give a starting caliber quarterback and 3 draft picks
with the hope that he's not in jail for 6 years?
And then as soon as he arrives at your facilities, it's like, guilty on all counts.
I think the return. I think the trade is going to be very similar to the Carson Wentz one, where it's all about conditional. A second that could be a first. It's that kind of thing to where the Houston Texans they're asking for way too much because that's just bad negotiating. That's just what they do.
By the way, is there a team that's worse than the Texans at this point?
Well, no,
the Lions are winless, but the Texans.
We went over this. This is a team that's run by a failed televangelist stand-up comedian.
Yeah. The Rams are going to Houston this Sunday, and I'm looking forward to the
that might be like another 40-0 game.
There's Mike on the description there. That dude, you can call. He was standing up. I wouldn't say any comedy was ever involved.
Are you a fan of? Are you a fan of bad location stereotype based comedy? Because if so, he's the man for you.
The Texans are definitely spiraling down the toilet into football hell. The Dolphins, though, it's so weird that the Dolphins are kind of
everyone was so high on them last year.
You thought that things were coming together and that they were going to maybe not have a good team, but at least the arrow would continue to trend up. But now it's almost like.
Was Fitzmagic the key to success the whole time?
I don't know.
Last year?
Yeah.
They were the 10-6 team that unfortunately had to miss out on the playoffs.
Wow.
Well, the Tua was injured at a point during the season, so I think that's where you thought, well, maybe that's the problem. But when you lose back-to-back weeks to the Jaguars and Falcons,
that's
the
Falcons trying to give the game away the whole time and still couldn't manage.
Right.
The Falcons were trying to Falcon, but
that team. If I could just for a second here, that team is so fucking stupid. The Falcons, they're just dumb. We used to have great uniforms, and we said let's fuck them up. No,
let's fuck them up, and we'll wear head to toe gradient.
No, not yet. No, we didn't fuck them up enough. Let's fuck them up again, really good this time. And then we'll do that. Oh, by the way, when we're up 28-3 in the Super Bowl, we'll forget how to play fucking football. they're like some teams are just snake bit like the Lions. Some teams are, like just can't get out of their own way like the Bears and the Browns. Then you got teams that are just fucking morons, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. Sorry, I didn't want to sidetrack us there, but good lord.
I mean, like legitimately, every uniform they had prior to the Michael Vick set was great, and they've decided they're just it's like the Bucks went. You know what was stupid when we blew the logo up really big on the side of our helmets and wore chrome face masks? Let's not do that anymore. And then the Falcons were like, "Ooh, let's do that!" And we'll put giant ATLs on the front, and we'll have like a gradient because it's 1997 again, and that's just what we're gonna do.
We need to move this. Let's move them to Quebec City and make them the Nordiques. Fuck them. I mean,
the Quebec City football Nordiques.
Goddamn right. The NFL wants to expand to Canada. Quebec City's just waiting right there. Let's do it.
Les Falcons du Québec.
Chaotic franchise. They make no sense. I'm sorry. I have no use for them anymore. It's like you're just a bunch of morons.
They exist to perplex and confuse and disappoint.
That is true.
Like
speaking of teams that that are just there for disappointment's sake, Jets fans, I'm so sorry.
Hey, they got a quarterback trade.
I was gonna bring that up too. So one, Zach Wilson's out for up to 4 weeks.
Oh God!
So good for them. And then to take the reins, they have reacquired from the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't tell me you knew he was there, Joe Flacco.
No
what?
Way.
Yeah,
Joe Flacco still in the league.
He was with the Eagles apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was he hanging out by catering in the clubhouse? Like
he was working at one of the Philly cheesesteak places. And hey, Joe Flacco, what are you doing?
Joe Flacco, a New York Jet once again, huh?
Yeah.
It's turning into the Vinny Testaverde of this age with this stuff.
No, Vinny Testaverde could come back and actually be good.
Yeah, sometimes.
What a horrible.
Yeah. No, see, here's the thing. I don't know what sad sack franchise has it worse because it's like, would you rather be a Bears or a Jets fan? Not Bears. Sorry, Lions or Jets. Like,
again, the Jets have a Super Bowl to fall back on, so there is always that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, uniform wise, I'd rather be
but the butt fumble. But you have to endure the indignity of the butt fumble.
The butt fumble, but hey, you make fun of the butt fumble, but like Mark Sanchez got them the 2 AFC title games. So
how did that happen?
Right?
Oh no, that was like during the Belichick Brady Patriots.
Yeah, they beat Belichick and Brady and the Patriots in one of those playoff runs.
Jets heroes.
The power of the foot fetish, man. Like the foot.
Yeah, right. Here you go. To me, I just think that when you add everything, when you put it all together, and you say, okay, which one of these franchises is the most idiotic? It has to be the Falcons. The uniform's exactly right on the first try, and you said, nope, not good enough. We're going to fuck them up until they're the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen.
As like a research project, we should find who is the most that team in sports.
It's Atlanta.
Sure.
Is it Atlanta? Like even more than say, I don't know,
the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah,
who are getting evicted? Who are getting fucking evicted from their stadium with no prospects?
I mean, the Coyotes. You don't lump the Jets and any NFL team in with the Coyotes. That they are in their own sphere of bizarre sports history, right? Like you can't, because in the NFL, these teams are making billions. The Coyotes are getting kicked to the fucking curb. I mean,
that's ridiculous. So if you think about it, the Falcons are making fucking billions, and it's like I wish I could run a business as incompetent as this one and still walk away with a couple $1 million in my pocket. Fuck them.
Well, here's what I recommend. I do this with the Jets, and I'm probably going to do this with the Falcons too, because their uniforms are so shitty. I just reject their existence.
That's a good idea.
I don't think about them. I don't acknowledge them. I just sort of glance like, they're a team. They don't exist anymore until they change the uniforms.
The Jets. I was actually talking to a Jets fan, and I actually asked him like, how do you how does this fandom work? And he goes, you have to understand that at this point the New York Jets are just an excuse for football to happen. Winning is entirely inconsequential.
Yeah,
Right.
That's fair.
We should do a show though where we go through each league and pick the whatever we're going to call it.
How about? Yeah, we should like basically put together a criteria and have a like agreed upon top 3 or something. Where we.
I can already tell you the NHL and the NBA ones right now. Like you got the Coyotes and you got the Coyotes in the NHL and the NBA. It's got to be the Charlotte Hornets.
I was going to say the Charlotte Hornets, Horncats. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think you got to get the Clippers in there too. I mean,
that's true. That's true.
No. Hey, Clippers have been relevant though. They've been relevant lately.
Yeah, but
in theory, the Jets and Falcons have been relevant.
Yeah, I mean the Clippers are relevant until they're not, which is every single year.
No, let's save this for this special that we're thinking of. Let's not go. Okay,
that's fine. Speaking of, I think this would be a good time to kind of get into some hockey. We've been kind of neglectful of hockey.
I thought we were just avoiding the NHL preview out of respect for Mike.
We don't want to get a preview an hour into the show.
I'm dead inside. It's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to worry about upsetting me. To upset me would imply I have feelings, and I don't have those.
We don't need to do like an around the horn. Just kind of, your hockey observations for the last week or so as the season started.
Hockey observations. The Leafs still suck. This team is dead inside, and
just like Mike is,
and just like me.
Have you at least watched a Leaf game this year?
I did actually. I watched.
Okay.
That's
good to hear because you were in a bad place.
Wait till you hear the game I watched.
Oh no!
I watched the
Pittsburgh game.
No, thank God, no. I think that would have really hurt me. No, I watched the Sharks game with my boyfriend, who is a Sharks fan.
So you saw the one where the jersey got thrown on the ice? That's good.
Yes, I did. See that.
Playing the hits.
I mean, we're not even out of the first month, and we've already got a jersey on the ice. Like, woo. Yeah, legitimately, I'm actually thankful. That I watched that game because if I had not watched that game, I probably would have watched the Pittsburgh game thinking, Malkin and Crosby are out, so we'll have a chance. And instead, they lost like 7-1 or some shit.
No, Mike. See, what happens is when the Penguins don't have Malkin or Crosby, that's actually when they're at their best, which is stupid.
Yeah.
They're 3-0-2 right now, and they haven't had any of those guys.
No. They played the Lightning in the season opener, and they ruined the Lightning's banner raising ceremony because they came out and like bitch slapped them. And it's like, how? They have two of the best players in the world on their team, and neither of them are playing. How did they win?
Yeah. No, some observations, I guess, are the Florida Panthers are the best team in hockey, which
good for them.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, first going to start in their history, right? Like
the Ducks are a pretty good start, right, Zach?
They've
shown promise. Would that be?
They've shown promise.
Okay,
they've been involved in all these games. They haven't gotten blown out. There hasn't been a true like, oh man, well that was awful. They're better than they were. And I think that's all I can ask for.
So can we have another debate over the Mighty Ducks logo? And no, I don't actually mean that.
Actually,
I'm just saying that conversation reared its head again on the boards, and I partook in it for a page before I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I hate
It'll continue until it happens, which I think it probably will sooner rather than later.
Well, have you seen they're making a new Mighty Ducks series for Disney Plus?
An animated one?
No, live action.
Oh yeah, no, I watched the first season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But apparently they're not using the retro Mighty Ducks logo. So
Greg, talk. Go ahead.
Greg's been trying to jump in. Yes.
I just speaking of hockey, and this is a question I have because I was watching some highlights the other night, and I saw the New York Rangers, and I had this twinge of like, I really miss these guys.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I thought, can I switch back? The Jackets are terrible. They're 3-2. They're going to be all right. I think the Rangers are going to be all right.
I think given the fact that you were a fan of the Rangers for so long, like
20 years.
You're allowed. You don't even necessarily have to dump the Blue Jackets.
I wouldn't. But
as we've said, the tough part is they're division rivals.
Yeah.
So you're going to play them 4 times a year.
But like I said, I saw the highlights and it was just like, man, that I enjoyed the Jackets, but I got to be honest, man. Like I was never like I didn't have a blood oath with them like I had with the Rangers, which really kind of fucked me in the end. But so I'm just curious.
I've always kind of associated you with the Rangers. I mean, just based on what you've told, stories you told and stuff. I've never really seen you as a Beach fan or anything. So
I tried, I still have a soft spot for the Beach, but I got to be honest,
as everyone does.
If you put a gun to my head and said you got to pick one hockey team, I'm running right back to Madison Square Garden.
I mean, they have some of the nicest uniforms in the.
That's the thing too.
That diagonal script is just pure class.
They were wearing the road whites, and I'm like, man, that was fun when I was like a fan of like an original 6 team, and they're the fucking New York Rangers, and I've been to their games.
I'm still kicking myself that I had a chance to get a Gretzky white Lady Liberty jersey, and I didn't take it.
That's like the Holy Grail, dude.
I remember I was in the store and it was hanging there, and I just oh man.
See, I even like when I saw the highlight, I said to my girlfriend, I'm like, I kind of miss these guys. Like, she can verify that it was like, wow. But yeah, okay. So that's what I'm gonna do then. I'm not abandoning the Blue Jackets, but it's hard to put 5 years of fandom up against 25. So I got to go back.
Here's my take on this. Since the Blackhawks conveniently are not only trash, they're not only just a garbage hockey team from an organizational standpoint, they're also a garbage hockey team in a hockey standpoint. So it's very convenient.
The most competitive the Blackhawks can be this year is, are they worse than the Coyotes? And it is a quick race to the bottom between those two.
It's a neck and neck. Like they're I'm all for it. I'm all for the Blackhawks just going through the most miserable period of hockey bullshit ever, because they frankly deserve it. And I think that they're due for change, and I think that Stan Bowman needs to be fired, and there's a lot of guys who need to go. And it also amuses me seeing Jeremy Colleton just kind of say, I don't have all the ideas. You guys fucking make a play. I don't know.
That was awesome.
That was the coolest Blackhawks thing I've seen since that accountant came in as an emergency goalie.
Oh, the accountant playing goalie.
That was. I mean, I love it. The no fucks given. Where it's like I'm gonna get fired soon anyway, guys. If you got to play, drawn up. I don't know. I don't have.
I was thinking about that. Is it really as a bad optic as it looks?
Yes.
I mean, we've watched plenty of hockey. At least I know Mike and I have.
I've never seen.
I can never say that I've seen.
So if the Blackhawks
players writing their own play,
if the Blackhawks were 5-0,
I've played hockey before. I've never seen that before. Like, it is just a complete it just doesn't happen.
So it really was just fuck it. Here, you guys give it a try.
Yeah, he said afterwards, it's like, I don't have all the ideas. The guys wanted to try a play. I gave them the whiteboard. They drew up a play. And
which is fantastic, because it's like, aren't you being paid a substantial salary to be the guy with the ideas?
Yeah, well, it's not as black and white as that, but Colleton, if the Blackhawks were 5-0 and he did this, people would be like, wow, it's cool. He's like going to his players, and it's like
he's trusting their gut, right? Yeah,
right.
But because
Campbell move, man.
It kind of is, but Colleton is just kind of a guy, and I don't think he deserves as much hate as he's getting, because he's just a dude. He's just a yes man that got promoted, and it's kind of like, but
he hasn't done anything to make it better.
No. He's
on
just
purpose.
Well, because Quenneville was a fiery dude who did things his way, and he earned that right. But the Blackhawks were, they did not want that kind of adversary working for them. So they just kind of promoted him from Rockford. And
from an X's and O's standpoint, like, the Blackhawks since Colleton took over have been one of, if not the worst defensive team in hockey. And this year they clearly are. But despite them bringing in Seth Jones and Marc-Andre Fleury in the offseason, they got immensely worse defensively, and they shipped out Duncan Keith. Like, they should be a better back end than they are, but they've let up the most goals in the league right now.
Wait a minute. So Quinville was this, really fiery guy. You're telling me that the Blackhawks looked at a guy who won them 2 Stanley Cups and went like, we don't 3 Stanley Cups and said like, we don't want that guy's attitude around here.
Well,
like,
what?
They didn't want his paycheck.
Well, I don't think it was a money thing. I mean, the Blackhawks were kind of like spinning the wheels with him toward the end. I think.
Now he's coaching like the best team in hockey in Florida, so I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I mean, well, Quenneville's a great coach, and he's one of those guys who anytime he'll come back to Chicago, he's not going to pay for a meal. Like people love him here, love him up there. But the defensive system,
when you have a great coach like that, they don't stick around for the rebuild because that's not what they're built for.
But then it has to be a rebuild, and the Blackhawks have not. Like last year, it was convenient that Taves had. Spooky. My head is weird disease. Whatever he had.
Taves even came back and they're worse.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is there, but they are like 3 years past shipping out a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, Keith leaving, trading Seabrook's contract. Those are good starts, but then they just can't help themselves. So they bring in Fleury, which is just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Fleury, like Marc-Andre Fleury is not the long-term answer for anything.
I mean, I like his pads, but I mean, that's about it. Everything else about him sucks.
Literally, so the Coyotes the Blackhawks are as somehow worse than the Coyotes right now. And the Coyotes did the Galaxy Brain move of signing the Buffalo Sabres goaltender from last season, who was terrible.
Because that's who you want in net, the guy who manned the crease for the Buffalo fucking Sabres.
Right, exactly. Because it's like, oh wait, we want to be terrible. Oh, he was awful. Let's get him.
But let's be fair to the Coyotes, though. They do look better this season, though. They look like the Coyotes.
They do. Yes, it's a shame that they're going to be in Houston next year, and they probably will have to change the uniforms again.
Is it wrong? Is it wrong also that I'm personally quite happy that the Avalanche are not that great? They're looking kind of
you know what? Fuck the Colorado Avalanche. Fuck their big gulp logo. And
I still disagree with this. No, they've had some trouble early on because they had, despite being one of those teams that was completely vaccinated, they had a little COVID issue in the first week or so.
Yeah.
So like Nathan McKinnon was out for the first 3 or 4 games of the season.
I
think Colorado will be fine by the end of the day.
Fuck the fact that they got rid of their awesome black pants and gloves. Like, guys, come on.
It does kind of make me.
It's good enough for Joe Sakic.
And get rid of the Nordiques, my original favorite team.
I'm looking.
Bring back the Nordique. Move back to Quebec City. Be the Nordiques and wear the Wolf jerseys that you stole from us.
No Wolf jerseys. We're going
Fuck
with
those Wolf jerseys. Those are
the original Nordiques look.
It does not appear that the Kraken are going to be competing for the Pacific Division. They are
the Kraken.
The Kraken. I've always heard it pronounced Kraken.
The Kraken at the Crake House.
Kraken. Like a crack house.
Yeah, crack. Wait
a minute. So is that menu for real? You can buy canned water.
That menu.
The idea is it's the same thing that happened when I went to SoFi Stadium. They're doing no plastic is the idea.
Oh, okay.
So it's like when I went to get that beer on draft, it was an aluminum cup. And so they don't have bottles of water; they have canned water.
Well, can I get like a regular paper cup of water? Because I don't want to drink water out of a can. That sounds like some dystopian 1984 shit.
It's not bad at all. We had this.
Thinking of it gives me a metallic taste in my mouth.
Yeah, if you think it tastes tinny, I would imagine, but I don't know. No, the Kraken are interesting. We were kind of all sold that they would be pretty decent on defense and really good in goal with Philip Grubauer, and they were always going to have trouble scoring, but the defense hasn't really shown up early, and the scoring still isn't there. So
I think a lot of us saw what happened with Vegas,
right? Yeah,
and
the expectations were too high.
Exactly right, and I think we perhaps was something to the idea that after what happened with Vegas, NHL GMs got smarter with how they approached this sort of draft, and the Kraken weren't able to really, wheel and deal the way that the Golden Knights could.
Yeah. On the other hand, Vegas is also in last place too, so it's not like it's.
Okay. See, Vegas put together a really good team that they could have built on for years to come, but then they got rock stupid and traded it all for lotto tickets.
Yeah, they've.
This is the downfall that we've been saying will happen.
Right. Well, yes, and they some of the pieces aren't meshing, and it will be said, Peter DeBoer, as a head coach, has a short shelf life with every team he's been with, and that's not on accident. And I think this is that period where it's like, oh yeah, no, the switch turns off, and now we don't do so well. They've also had some injuries early on, so again, it's very early.
Yeah, we're like 4 or 5 games in here, Yeah.
So, but Andy, how is your trial run with the Calgary Flames going? How are you feeling about things?
Well, as far as the Flames go, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like as I was watching like preseason of the season, I've actually started not really giving a shit about the Flames, and I've been following more the Kraken. I've just kind of for whatever reason just been like more interested in seeing how things have gone. And the Flames, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Flames uniforms are fucking pristine. Like they look so good. Yeah. I love watching them. But
the people on the forums who say they need black highlights, no, shut up.
They got the black horse alternate, which is cool. I like that uniform. That's fine. It's all the black they need. Snorty, whatever the fuck they call it. Yeah, it's fine. But
it doesn't matter with some of these people on those boards anyway. Jesus.
I don't know.
But people.
But they have an interesting kind of roster. You have Mangiapane, who is perhaps the best name in all of hockey, and then you have Kachuk, who's fine, just re-upped, and they're going to be one of those teams that like they don't quite know what they want to do or be, but they're just going to like.
You're not latching on to them, unfortunately.
Well, I'm not. I'm not. Well, I'm in kind of a free agency. I'm still. I am following the Blackhawks, but I'm not giving up on the Flames. I'm just not like I'm not going balls deep into the Flames. I'm just kind of like enjoying hockey,
Mm-hmm. Seattle's stripping the trigger, go with it,
Now,
plus those Kraken road jerseys are. Oh.
Now, back to the Kraken. If I may be allowed to rain on this parade for a bit. Apparently they retired the number 32 and they can get fucked.
Hey. I'm going to defend this. Why are people upset about this?
Because
these honorary number retirements are kind of dumb.
It's something that bullshit franchises do because it's like we want a banner, but we've been a franchise for like a week. And so we have nothing to. So it's like retiring one because we have the number one fans or something. It's just
they have the 32nd best fans.
Well, no, because they're the 32nd
franchise.
Because they're the 32nd team. Even though I fucking did the math, they're actually not. If you count every franchise that's ever existed, the Kraken are the 38th.
The 32nd team in the league right now.
Well,
that's a really dumb reason to retire a jersey. I'm sorry. That's just,
look. I'm just saying. The reason that it's dumb is just because it's just one of these things where it's like, ideally, you grow the team to a point where, you actually have real accomplishments. I'm not saying you have to win the Stanley Cup, but like, eventually you're going to win a division or two, like maybe even a conference championship. And those are the banners that you put up. But like this whole, like, oh, we're the 32nd team in the league, so we're going to retire 32. Yeah. It's like, that starts you down the road to being like, playoff participant banners.
Well, hey, here's the thing. So with 32, it's not honoring any player, and so it's not like they can always unretire it later and just be like, we're going to quietly unretire this number, but we're still going to keep the banner up there. Because it's like, who gives a fuck? They had 32,000 people pre-ordered or got their tickets. I think it sold out, something like that. The 32nd franchise, whatever. It's just a fun promo, and it's not like they're going to insult some dead guy if they unretire it in a few years. I don't know why, like BBTV on the board was like fuming because like 32 is a cool number, and they're fucking retiring it.
Well, okay. BBTV takes retired numbers really seriously.
Clearly.
He lost. I remember he lost his shit when Peyton Manning came to the Broncos, and 18 was retired for, I think, the Broncos' first ever quarterback.
Yeah,
and I forgot who the guy's name was, but the Broncos had retired 18 in his honor.
Frank
and,
Tapuka.
Yes, and so like there was a thing where like the dude who was like by that point like fucking ancient, like actually talked to Peyton Manning on the phone. He was like, "No, I would be honored if you wore 18 for the Broncos," and the Broncos unretired it. Peyton Manning wore 18. Everything was good. And I remember BBTV on the boards was like fuming at us, like if it was important enough to retire, it should stay retired. And he was like really going at it. Like,
yeah,
it's serious business for him.
Well, here's some of the odd ones in the NHL. Okay,
32 is not a good hockey number. I'm sorry, it's not.
Well, it is if you're a goalie
number.
Yeah.
It's an okay goalie number, but 30, 31, 33, 35, all better. 39.
So the number one offender of this is the Florida Panthers. They retired number 37 for then founding owner Wayne Huizenga, the former Auto Nation and
Blockbuster Video
magnates.
Wait a minute. Why 37?
I actually don't know.
They probably just fucking asked him, "What number do you want retired? We'll kiss your ass." 37. They retired Gretzky.
His family it was retired after he died. So the family chose the number because it was his birth year and lucky number.
So Gretzky's number is retired league wide,
right? And then the other one for the Panthers is Bill Torrey, who was their inaugural GM and also the GM of all those great Islander teams.
Okay, I'm noticing that
retired number 93 for him.
I'm noticing that the retired numbers that the Panthers have, neither of them are players.
Yeah,
and then Roberto Luongo is their actual player.
What, they retired Luongo? Why?
Mikey's the greatest player in Florida Panthers history. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
I actually can't argue with that. He is
right. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what do you want? The Wild have number 1 retired for the fans.
Fuck.
The Montreal Canadiens have an entire roster's worth of retired numbers.
Well, yeah, but at least those are real. Like,
yeah, I know. But Seattle has 32.
Bobby Orr and a couple other the Bruins players I know of for sure.
And then Vegas has the number 58 retired for the Vegas shooting victims from 2017.
All right, that's okay.
That's
why 58?
That's how many people died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Damn, that dude killed 58 fucking people.
I mean, that's okay for Vegas. Just don't pull an Oklahoma City Thunder and make an alternate uniform out of it.
Yeah, right.
Jesus, have like a Zodiac killer outfit or something.
Well, that's what the Thunder did with their Oklahoma City bombing alternate uniforms. Like
they made an Oklahoma City bombing alternate. Swear to God, man.
You didn't see this, Sandy?
It was retired. It was not the bomb. It was not a jersey for the bombing. It was a jersey for the bombing memorial. But yes.
Here, let's take this horrible page out of our history and make a uniform out of it.
I mean, it looks totally pointless. I'm just looking at it here. I get it, but it's also just one of those jerseys that never needed to exist. It's like the MLK jersey for Atlanta, just kind of a pointless.
Well, the MLK jersey for Atlanta was hilarious because they wore it against Milwaukee.
Yeah, even better. Man, what I don't understand. Just retiring numbers. I feel like it's a bigger deal when it's for a player that was not, it doesn't deserve it. When it's an honorary number for like an owner person, that's kind of bullshit because it's all just like fuck that. Like that guy didn't wear the jersey for your fucking team. They should just put a dollar sign for the number and retire that shit. You know, I mean, there's just that's the ampersand. We retired the ampersand for. Judy and Tom Smith, who donated $200,000 to our charity foundation.
Who are those fucks that sponsored the Florida Atlantic? I can't remember their names now.
That is stupid. Jag-off rich people
or something. Yeah.
the Florida Atlantic head coach.
Yeah.
Oh, also, it's not the 32 for the Kraken, not just for being the 32nd team. It's also for the 32,000 ticket deposits made in a single day on the
That-
Basel franchise. Which, by the way, doesn't make sense because there's only 17,000 seats in the building. So why are there 32,000 ticket deposits? What are you doing? Robbing these people's money?
This seems like a tax scheme from the producers.
Wait a minute. You can. I don't know about with Seattle, but I know with Columbus and with the Indians, or excuse me, the Guardians now, the Browns. You can buy.
Are we talking about partial season tickets?
Partial season tickets. Maybe they're counting those.
Okay, fine.
Or is this some kind of producer scam where it's like we're gonna double sell all the season tickets, and when the team folds, we scam the money. Like
Some nightly
Boise, Idaho, we get to keep all this cash.
just a plot of a shit.
What do you guys think of the Climate
if
Pledge
this was-
Arena? The way
this
it
was-
looked on the home
if this was
opener?
going to happen in any league, it would be the NHL. I just want to say.
What the arena, Zach?
Yeah,
I didn't
like the
see any
arena.
of it. I mean, I'm sure it's
It's-
fine.
It looks like on the outside, it kind of looks like a flat, like circus tent looking thing.
yeah, that's what it would look like previously when it was the Key Arena too.
Yeah, it's very squat.
I
like that.
I think it's really cool how there's the windows opening up to the ground level
Street?
outside. Yeah, the street
Yeah.
level.
There's a
That's
lot of
really
it.
cool.
It's like that
Well, like I can imagine if and when they make the playoffs eventually, like you're gonna get watch parties out there where you can like watch the scoreboard through the window, and that'll be pretty cool.
It's although I do want to say I resent the name, not for any ideological reason. I just wanted to say, like, we should just refer to it as the Crack Den because
crack house.
or the Crack House. 'cause,
Either one.
like,
Those are both fine.
Well, and the thing is, it's sponsored by Amazon, but then they called it the Climate Pledge Arena, and then they put the Amazon smile on their home helmets for their helmet sponsors. So.
it's not as bad as the Leafs helmet sponsor this year.
TikTok, yeah,
TikTok.
Oh God.
embrace the
Jesus.
youths.
Just fucking crusty old Brendan Shanahan. What are kids into today?
What
The
did they put-
TikToks.
What did they put in that app that gets people to act like complete fucking buffoons? And
Uh,
Instagram's not like that, is it?
I don't know, man.
TikTok. I mean, we could have a whole show about this social media. TikTok.
I mean, there's
TikTok-
some funny shit, no question about it. But someone's like, "What the hell's the matter
No,
with you?"
TikTok is a particular scourge. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the most addictive. Like I was really into it for like probably a couple months, and I mean, me and my wife had to like set like screen limits because you can just scroll. You can scroll forever for hours and hours, and it's just
But-
like, what the hell?
But
Hey,
this
there's-
this actually. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
No, go ahead, go.
I was gonna say this actually does segue into what I wanted, something that I brought up before the show started, particularly team sponsorships. So this was sent to me by my Estonian pal who thought that we should talk about this. So over in jolly old England, in the Premier League of association football, there is a new team, Watford FC.
Well, they're not new.
They're not new, but they're new to the Premier League. They've been promoted to the Premier League.
Yeah, Watford's been up and down over the last couple. Anyway, what's up?
Anyway,
What's up with Watford?
one of their jersey sponsors is Dogecoin.
Oh, brilliant!
I mean, I know I'm an old man and all that, and I get it, but I have tried. I've really tried to understand cryptocurrency. I just don't fucking get it.
Here's the link to the Dogecoin, the Dogecoin patch on their uniforms, complete with the Doge dog.
Oh, you gotta have
brilliant.
the dog. You gotta have the dog, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not
so-
the worst. It's not the worst bit of money coming into the Premier League. Let's say that.
What are the Saudis still buying?
Oh no! Literally, what happened? So this is like, yeah, some teams are owned by these oil emirates and whatever. Newcastle United got bought by this thing called the Public Investment Fund, and everyone looks at that and says, "Oh, so it's just an investment group." Well, no. What it really is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. So literally, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, guys that behead journalists and chop them into little pieces,
Women.
bought Newcastle United, and all their fans are celebrating like, "Oh, we're getting all this new money to our club. We're going to be so successful." And everyone else is like, "Yeah, but how much blood is on your hands here, guys. Good job with that. So Newcastle United, everybody.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that was uplifting.
So now, who's the first NHL team to put a cryptocurrency emblem on their jerseys?
Arizona.
Oh yeah,
They'll be open for business. Yeah.
They are Doges, so they could put,
My
Doge.
God.
It would fit the theme. I thought that stuff was coming in this year when we got the Capitals announcement, but I didn't realize this was not until next season.
It's going to be next season when it starts.
A bit of a reprieve, but all that means is that we're just going to see a bunch of these over the next several months. So.
Just saying, get your jerseys now before they become.
Putting an ad on a Montreal Canadiens jersey, a Maple Leafs jersey, a Blackhawks jersey, a Rangers jersey, I'll even say the Red Wings, it's just a crime against humanity. I'm sorry. And they should be tried as such. Let's hang them.
Jesus Christ.
I have to wonder.
But no, it's horrible. It's just horrible. It's just.
I have to wonder because of the culture of the hockey jersey, if they're even going to sell them with them on it.
I would doubt it. I'd really doubt it. But then again, that's extra benefit for your advertising dollar if you sell it with it on there.
I'm sure it's all contractual.
If I go to buy a Rangers jersey and it's got, I don't know, whatever is going to be advertising on it in New York, that's added. What we used to call it in radio, added benefit or added. I forget what the fuck it was called, but it's a thing. And it's better exposure if it's on all the jerseys.
Yeah.
So
as far as I can tell, I don't think the NBA jerseys are sold with them.
Some of them are.
I remember
some of them are.
Because being the Harley Davidson dork that I am, I was going to buy a Bucks jersey when they were sponsored by Harley just to get the jersey with the Harley patch on it. And I thought that's just a really dumb thing to spend my money on. And
I know the Lakers haven't sold any with the ads on them in the couple years yet. So
I don't know.
I'm looking at the NBA shop right now, and it's not on the NBA shop graphic.
Well, that's interesting because Harley's like a lifestyle brand. So you would think that like if one jersey would do it, it would be the Bucks with Harley because people are like, I'm going to get my Bucks Harley jersey, but I guess it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through all the general jerseys tab, and I'm not seeing any
good
ads on the ones you can buy online.
I wouldn't want a Rangers jersey with an ad on it. I wouldn't want that, or a Blue Jackets jersey for any jersey for that matter. I mean, it doesn't matter.
I think you reflect a lot of the American consumer. Like, it's different when American fans buy soccer jerseys because that's just
right.
That's just what
or
they
NASCAR.
look like.
NASCAR, that's the same deal. You know what you're getting with NASCAR. Yeah,
right. That's just what it is. But when it comes to the major team sports, I would have to imagine it'll take a minute before they ever start putting that on the merchandise you can buy for yourself.
Right. Well, we'll see.
I do have the big 4-3-way, but I've changed it this week, at least for now, to be movie trivia. For all of you to take on as you wish. I was like trying to find some sports trivia stuff, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna do movies this week. If that's okay with you guys, if you'd like to.
I love movies.
Do it.
Okay. So feel free to, answer these all together. The Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings films occupy 5 of the top 10 highest grossing book film adaptations of all time. Name either the specific films or franchises that make up the remaining 5 positions.
Okay, so Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings are out.
Titanic.
No, this is the top. No, Titanic. No, there's a top 10
book adaptations.
Book
adaptations. I'm sorry.
Book to film.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park and Jurassic World make up 3. They combine for over $4 billion.
Wow. Book.
Okay.
How many
next
spots
two.
are left? Then?
Yeah, there's 2 spots left.
2 spots. Are they on the top end of the top 10 or the bottom end of the top 10?
They I think one is like 4 and the other one is 7.
I'm gonna throw a wild guess out here, and it's probably fallen off this list over the years, but I'm gonna go with Jaws.
No, good guess though. I think Jaws is up. It's not in the top 10.
Okay.
One of these is total. I would never be able to predict it. It was it came out in 2010.
Girls, the Dragon Tattoo?
No, it's a dog shit.
Hunger Games?
No, Hunger Games is up
Twilight
in the top 10. No. I mean, it's It's bad. It's
Chronicles of Narnia.
No, also up there, but not in the top 10. So this is
Okay.
2010 movie directed by Tim Burton.
Fuck, what did he do in 2010?
It's a fucking disaster, and I have no idea how it made so much money.
Oh, Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland. You got
Right,
it.
I remember that.
No. The hot topic folk love that version of it. Yeah,
I remember that thing made like $1 billion, right?
I'm going to go way again, probably not on the list. So I'm going to go way back. Wizard of Oz.
No. This is an action franchise, very old franchise.
James Bond.
James Bond, yeah, Skyfall. Skyfall is the other
okay.
one.
Well,
Yeah.
You know what though? That's not a book adaptation. That's cheap.
Ian Fleming wrote the Bond novel.
Sure, and I would say that for like the original Connery films, and maybe Casino Royale, but Skyfall's not a book adaptation. Come on.
It says based on the works of Ian Fleming in the opening title.
Yeah, I know it says, but it's not an adaptation.
Find a chapter in one of those books and like do a whole movie. I mean, you could, screenplay,
Yeah.
get ideas.
No, I'm with
I'll
Zach on this one. Again, I don't remember where I got this website information from. I didn't have my sources because I'm good like that. But it was not based on like a book. So I think that the next one up would have been.
I think that's the same reason why I didn't think of Alice in Wonderland, because I know that even the original Disney film is based on the book, but I just think of the original Disney film as like the version of it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, number 2. Only 2 people have ever been nominated for Best Actor and Best Director in the same year, twice.
Same year.
One of them was Warren Beatty. Who is the other?
Kevin Costner?
No, good guess though.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. You know what movie it was for?
Unforgiven.
Unforgiven. Yep, you got it.
Okay, there you go.
He's also the oldest director to ever win Best Director. He's 73 years old.
Costner didn't get an actor nod for Dances with Wolves? No,
he
Grant
did.
Green-
But
he
this,
did, but
this is twice. Best nominated twice.
Twice. I got you. Okay.
Number 3, combining solo films, non-credit scene cameos, and ensemble casts. Who is the most profitable cinematic superhero?
Oh my god. I think I know this.
I would expect Zach to know this.
No, because I heard it specifically on like a podcast.
It's
like,
it's not Batman, is it?
No, Batman sadly is number 6, a paltry $6.8 billion.
Okay.
Talking between like crossovers, movies of their own, and
Is it? Well, I guess is it Iron Man?
It is Iron Man. Yes,
Okay,
Iron
okay.
Man.
Ma.
$12.4 billion.
I thought it was gonna be something like clever, and then I was like, no, wait a second,
no,
it has to be Iron Man. Yeah,
Because all of the, like fucking Ant-Man is on this list because
of course,
of his association with the Avengers. Like the
that's
top,
because he's in Endgame and Infinity War, so therefore,
yes. So
how much of that Downey got?
I'm
sure he
after for the first few movies, not as much, but once he renegotiated the contract for the first time, he got plenty.
The list is Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America. It's basically just like Avengers down. Batman at number 7 with 6.8 billion. Let me see. Wolverine is at number 11, and Superman is number 14. So
yeah, from the Marvel films alone, Robert Downey Jr. made $300 million.
That's just in salary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
and for the first Iron Man movie, he only made $500,000.
Merchandising and all that other stuff. Yeah, $500,000.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow,
that was
Well, to be fair, he was still in his like early comeback phase in the first Iron Man movie. Like people weren't sure if he was going to stay on the wagon.
He made $500,000 for Iron Man 1. He then made $10 million for Iron Man 2.
It's a bit of a raise there.
A little bit.
Another $10 million for Iron Man for Avengers. And that he stayed at $10 million for a while because he originally negotiated for it to be equal to his other co-stars because he didn't want to make a proportional amount to them and have them stick around. Let's see. Oh, this is like the running total of like how much he made for the entire movie.
Wow.
He
made like
did
between 50 and 80 million for the second Avengers. He made
a question for you guys. Could you picture
50 million in Civil War?
Anyone else playing Iron Man besides Robert Downey Jr.? Like, who would you?
Well,
let's say he didn't do it. Who? Let's say like, okay, who would have been another choice? Because I thought it was an inspired choice when they made him. Like, God damn, that's going to really work.
It's a double-edged sword because not only, I mean, he was great. Iron Man, the first Iron Man's fantastic. Then his delivery in Iron Man did the dialogue for every remaining superhero movie that came out for the next
which is unfortunate because just because it works for Iron Man doesn't mean it works for everyone. Looking at you, Captain Marvel.
This snark and sass and sarcasm
it was good for Tony Stark, but I'm with you guys. I don't think it works so well for Steve Rogers or fucking Ant-Man. You know why?
Yeah, I mean it became a template, but but because of the history of the character with substance abuse and the history of him with substance abuse and it just there was no other like you asked me like, oh, who else could do it? I can't even rack my brain to figure it out because it's not worth thinking about. There was
something I saw on Twitter where this is bad, but it got a chuckle out of me. It said, okay, so if you were to cast a black guy as Iron Man, who would you pick? And someone posted Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
My choice would be Idris Elba, but that's like, you know, as a serious choice. Because that guy can kill. I don't care what the fuck the role is, he'll kill it every single time. He's just money in the bank. So that's
I'm not entirely sure who you could get. What's his name? The guy who played Don Draper.
John Hamm.
John Hamm. Yeah, he could maybe do it.
Yeah. He's not a bad choice actually. If you take Robert Downey out of it, I could see it.
Yeah, that's a pretty plausible pick there. He's definitely he's bigger than him, I think. Anyway, I got one more question.
And apparently Robert Downey Jr. was Jon Favreau's favorite for the role from the start. So there's no real like kind of what ifs or who else could have done it.
Yeah, okay.
The only other name that I see in my quick research here is when they were banning about the movie with 20th Century Fox in the lead back in the 90s. They were considering Tom Cruise back in the 90s, but
that would have been no.
Yeah,
no. He's too Tom Cruise. He's too no. He's just no. All right.
Apparently, we've just an update for you. So the Manning brothers are covering Monday Night Football, and Marshawn Lynch is in there with him.
Oh, that'll be good.
He has so far dropped 3 shits and 1 fuck on their broadcast.
Oh, really? They were off for 4 weeks and they forgot their filter. My God.
Going beast mode. Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, last question here. Which 2 horror films from 1999 and 2007, respectively, are considered to be the most profitable return on investment films in cinematic history?
Oh, I know what one of these is. Paranormal Activities.
Paranormal Activity, yes. That was they
you talking return on investment?
Yeah, so they had a $230,000 total budget, and they made $193 million.
Got to be Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project, 1999.
It's that found footage shit. It's cheap as shit to make, and then it makes like millions. And
the Blair Witch Project, they made it for less than $50,000, but then they added another $450,000 promotional and mixing and shit. But they made $248 million on like nothing. So like it was just a fucking clean sweep for that stuff. Blair Witch still kind of scares the shit out of me. I don't really like watching it too much.
Blair Witch is a legitimately good horror movie. Blair Witch 2 is just dog shit.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that one. Yeah.
No, that scene in Blair Witch, the original, where that dude's standing in the corner of the basement. All it is just like it was just like a choice made, I think, by the actor, maybe by the director. Like, just turn around.
Yeah.
And that made that so fucking scary, man. Just that little move. Because if he was facing you, it's like, yeah, what's the big deal? But the way it was, I still think
the first time I watched Blair Witch Project, it was on VHS. And it was in my grandma's basement in the
That's
dark.
That's the best way to watch it.
By myself at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was
that's how you watch it.
I was probably 14 years old or so, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Paranormal Activity, to give it credit, in theater, pretty freaky. Like that movie freaked me out. I watched it again recently. It's fine.
It doesn't hold up.
Once you know the gimmick, it doesn't really play
right.
well. That's why I'm so amazed that there's been so many sequels and spin-offs of that. That it's like you're not like I understand that it's cheap and it makes a lot of money, but. Why are people still going to see that garbage?
There's a certain kind of moviegoer that they'll be like, this one's got the real footage in it, or they believe that, like, okay, they say it's not real, but it actually is. I think part of it is that.
You want to know what horror franchise I've really taken to, and I know it's kind of become cliched at this point, but only because it is so good. I really like the Conjuring movies.
I've never seen those. I'm not a big horror fan.
No,
I've seen the first one. That's fine. Zach, Zach, you won't like watch any horror, even like Paranormal Activity. I feel like that's kind of light horror because it's not really gory,
No, I mean, like the only time that I really watched anything that I consider horror was probably in high school.
Okay,
and that's just because like it's the movies that teenagers see because you just go to the movies to go see movies. But.
Well, like, what are you and Alex watching for the Halloween season? What gets you, your Halloween fix?
Whatever movies are coming out in theaters besides Halloween Kills.
Oh, so you don't have like a spooky Halloween? No, okay, all right.
No, I mean, like when it comes to like Halloween stuff, like I mean, we have the argument of is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, but that's not.
It's a Halloween movie.
It's not.
You know what? What a good like it's not. I guess it's a horror movie in the most general sense, but the original Omen, not. I think they made a remake of it. If you listen, check out, that's actually a very good movie. It's scary, but it's not like stupid.
Omen's a good. Like I feel like that's right in that butter zone of like eerie and kind of macabre, but not like just a bunch of gore.
Right.
Oh, and speaking, Alex mentions Muppet Haunted Mansion. It's pretty good.
She really enjoyed it. I haven't got a chance to see it yet, but
yeah,
I love all things Muppets. So
you'll really like it. It's Muppets, so you can't go wrong there. So
by the way, I did find a list of people that were considered for Iron Man besides Robert Downey Jr.
Run it by us real quick.
So these were in various stages, and obviously some went further than others, and some didn't do it at all. But Nick Cage,
no.
Tom Cruise, as I said,
no.
Rob Lowe.
That's a budget pick.
Thing. Yeah, right. That's like try to get him to act like Robert Downey Jr. if we can't get Robert Downey Jr.
Right, Leo.
No.
No.
Oh, sorry, I missed the question. What are we going
not a
for?
question.
Possible Robert Downey.
I found a list of other potentials for Iron Man that weren't RDJ. So Nick Cage, Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe, Leo DiCaprio. Who this one says presumably Leo was considered for the role after just about everything after Titanic. He never took a meeting, but his name came up. So it's like okay.
No, he would have been terrible.
Hugh Jackman, which this one doesn't make sense because he was still kind of in the middle of his Wolverine phase.
Right. He could do it, though, I think. I think that if you take the Wolverine part out of it, I think he could pull it off.
I always have faith in Hugh Jackman to put in a good effort. I don't think he would have been the guy, but he would have done a good job.
Yeah.
Clive Owen.
Oh, that's a good voice.
And then this is and then there's two more.
Owen, so Sideman, that guy could probably pull it off. Yeah,
maybe.
So there's two more. One, this guy actually did make it into the movies. Sam Rockwell.
I love Sam Rockwell.
Oh yeah, he was Justin Hammer.
I like
Justin
Hammer, but I can't see him as Iron Man.
He's
always he's a great supporting actor, and he carried a couple movies. He did this like indie film called Moon. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. He was okay.
I heard it was great. Yeah,
it was wow. It was yeah.
He was really good.
And then this one, is the only one where it's like, maybe I could think about this. Now, according to this, and I double checked it in a second place. He's reportedly auditioned on the very same day as Robert Downey Jr. Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, he would have been good.
I love me some Timothy Olyphant. Yeah,
little Raylan. What's his last name on Justified?
Raylan Givens.
Little Raylan Givens in the Iron Man suit. I can see it. Oliphant can pull it off. Yeah,
like Justified and based on how he was in the Mandalorian. Like, sure,
yeah,
right,
shit, yeah. Well, so we can talk some more movies.
He could play the detached badass pretty well, I think.
Well, in terms of movies, I saw Dune.
I'm gonna watch that. So no spoilers.
I'm gonna watch it on HBO tonight when we're done here.
So it's good. I'll just leave it at that. It's good.
Okay, I'll be watching it soon. Yeah.
It's good.
Speaking of HBO, I just got access to an HBO Max account, so I started watching Succession. Do you guys watch that?
No, I heard it's okay.
Everyone keeps trying to get me into that show, and I just...
If you like watching rich people fuck each other over, it's the best you're ever going to see. It's awesome. Okay. No, the acting's incredible in it. It's got Brian Cox and that dude from that other show. You'll know who they are when you see them. But
do you need
Brian Cox and what's his face and the other dude.
The other Culkin, not Macaulay, but the other one, Kieran, what's his name? He's actually very good in it. But no, it's a good show. But anyway, so
but I'm still I don't want to get into it because we're kind of running long already and we don't really have time to get into it. But I just wanted to say I'm still recovering from No Time to Die. So
yeah, do you guys mind? Do you care about spoilers at all
for a Bond movie? No, I'm all right.
No, I'm okay.
All right. So if anybody listening hasn't seen Bond, thank you for listening today. We've enjoyed the conversation, but Mike and I have to talk about the very end of this movie real quick.
3, 2, 1.
They kill him.
James Bond is dead.
James Bond dies.
Let's not know. It's like it sounds like it's exactly like the fucking time to die. Not no.
This movie's title lied to me.
Yeah. Look, I enjoyed the vast majority of the first 2/3 of the movie. Once they introduce Rami Malek's character, it gets a little bogged down, and
I don't know.
I want to kill people. Well, like
I don't know what he's going for. He's got this weird rickety cricket, always sunny in Philadelphia face.
Yeah,
he's got this Phantom of the Opera mask.
But I can because of Bond villains past, you can kind of be like, he wants to kill people. He has a face thing. It's fine.
Yeah.
You get over it. But like to me, it's not even the fact that, oh my God, they killed him. How could they do that? It's more of a thing of, to me, it doesn't service the story now. And because we know that you're rebooting it, it doesn't serve anything going forward. So why did you do it? It doesn't do anything for the character, for the story, for the movies going forward or backward. It's a waste of a thing because James Bond always escapes. And so we're not. I have to imagine that Daniel Craig only agreed to do this one if he could die.
Yeah, the Harrison Ford did.
Yeah. Right, exactly. That's what I think happened.
I purposefully avoided all. I'm a big Bond fan. I purposefully avoided all spoilers for this. I got the sense that they might do it when Blofeld died.
Yeah.
Because
and by the way, James Bond has a kid in this now too.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. But
the woman from the last movie
from Spectre, he
had a baby with her, but they say, it's not your kid, don't worry about it. And then later, like 20 minutes later, no, it is your kid.
Well, they say it's not your kid, but then everyone is kind of like, yeah, it's his kid. But like when Blofeld died, I was going like, okay, they've killed Felix Leiter. They've killed Blofeld. Like they're cleaning the slate of all the classic Bond characters. Like
collecting scalps. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh God, they're gonna do it. And then it's like his whole thing is like, oh, he got this nanobot virus that he can never touch his like wife and kid again. And like, and I'm like, dude, escape the fucking island and like live in a hospital while they work on a cure. Like I don't.
Yeah, there was plenty of time for him to not die, considering it was a 2-hour 45-minute movie. But they found some time for him to die, and
it's
not going to matter because in 5 years we're going to have another James Bond movie, and guess what? He's gonna be alive and well and just a different dude. So why even do it?
I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Is like the Bond movies have never really cared much about explaining the changing actors. They just it's just like, okay, this guy got too old to do it, we're gonna roll someone else in. When they brought in Daniel Craig, they kind of rebooted things because the whole point of Casino Royale is supposed to be his first mission, so whatever. But then like this is weird. I don't know how to feel about it because, like Zach said, we're just gonna roll into a new James Bond movie. They're gonna have a different actor. They're gonna reboot the whole continuity again. And is this just what we're gonna like? It's just weird that in this library of Bond films, there's gonna be this like really weird 5-movie series that was its own little self-contained continuity.
Isn't there?
Yeah, and that is the other thing that I will mark the movie down for. It seemed it was far too interested in tying up all the loose ends of Spectre when I didn't really give a damn about the loose ends of Spectre.
Here's the thing. I really liked Spectre, but the thing I liked about Spectre is that as someone who is a big fan of these movies, I was really psyched. Oh, you brought Spectre and Blofeld back. Neat.
Yeah,
and then,
big stuff.
And then this movie comes around, and like Spectre plays a very big part in the opening part of this movie, and then they all die. And and I'm kind of like,
all of Spectre.
Fuck, you just this global spanning criminal organization just got wiped out in one scene, and I'm like, fuck, like the villains I cared about are gone. Like,
isn't there like a fan theory out there though that James Bond is not a person but a designation?
It's been debunked. Like, if you
especially if you watch this movie, it's his name. Like,
just
the title that is passed on is 007,
right?
And he
but
is James
no,
Bond.
like in Skyfall, they go to his estate.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, it's the Bond estate. Welcome home, James." So it's very
that could be like Professor Xavier's School of the Gifted.
It's all just this is where they clone all the James Bonds.
Yeah, that's just where all the James Bonds live before they get out to become James Bond. I don't know, but anyway. We're over 2 hours, fellas. Let's wrap it up, and we'll continue this next week.
No Time to Die ended weird, and I don't know how to feel about it.
It was exactly Time to Die.
Don't kill legendary characters unless you've really truly earned it, and
this one didn't.
Or if it matters, like it should matter to the story, and this one didn't. So,
real quick, boys, World Series predictions because it'll probably be over by the time.
Don't give a shit. I hope both teams die.
Okay.
Meteor,
truly the first true blue meteor World Series in quite some time. Like I will not watch a single damn second. I don't want either of these teams to do anything.
The only World Series that could have infuriated me more would have been Cardinals Red Sox, and
I would have taken that over this. I think
this is just there's no team justice. Nobody just
there's no winners here. We all lose.
All right. All right, we're going to wrap it up, folks. Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and wherever fine podcasting is sold. We will see you all next week.
Happy Halloween.